start with the
the
Tigers.
Dodgers, that I think.
But you can't, because the Dodgers we don't even know they're going to win a division.
No.
The Dodgers could be in a wild card situation on the road
I still
at
think
Wrigley
if their
Field.
pitching is good,
But
they're dominant.
Toronto, the Yankees, Boston, Detroit, Cleveland, Texas even is now 6 games over 500 and moving on up. Houston, which has lost 7 of 10. Seattle, if I go to the National League, the Cubs, they're 3 clear. I think they're 3 clear right now of San Diego for the first wild card spot. But the Reds are still in it. The Mets have a wild card spot. The Padres are going to like to be in it. The Dodgers are not clear of anything.
Right.
San Francisco's back in it. The Phillies are the only team in the top 10 teams right now that has won 7 of 10.
Yeah,
all the rest of them are somewhere between 4 and 5 and 6.
I'll give you another reason why I'm more bullish on the Tigers. Tarek Skubal, who has a chance to come back 2 years in a row for Cy Young, and has an outside chance at the Triple Crown 2 years in a row. The Yankees, Fried and Rodon have had great years, but Skubal's ERA is 1 full run under theirs. He's the best guy.
But yet, Detroit didn't have anything in that division, and Cleveland, which has awakened recently, not going to catch the Tigers.
No.
So, I don't know what it means.
The choice was who we are more bullish on. That's what I said.
None of them.
Let's move to soccer. The U.S. men's national team beat Japan last night 2-0 in one of those friendlies after a string of disappointing results. The new U.S. coach, Mauricio Pochettino, said, "Don't criticize my players, criticize me." Here's a direct quote. Criticize me, but let the players play free," unquote. It even rhymes. Wilbon, is that a fair request?
No. It's a stupid request that falls on deaf ears. Because Pochettino has no standing. He has no stature. We're not even sure if he has a team that's worthy of our attention, much less criticism. He's got nothing. He's been around 2 minutes, and he's asking people what to... We'll criticize whatever we damn well please criticize, and he'll live with it. Whether it's him or his... These people are professionals. They're not in high school where remember when you and I were covering highs?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to criticize little 14-year-old Johnny because he might weep when he got home.
I didn't, but I know secretly you did.
I didn't. I regret it to this day, as you know. What is this dude talking about? And I'm sure you agree with this.
I agree with it largely. Look, this is coaching 101. This is criticize me. I've got a long-term contract. Lay off my players.
How long is his?
Coaches do this because they know their locker room. They know which guys are fragile in the psyche, and they know which guys might crumble if they get too much criticism. I'm sure the guy's a good coach. He's coaching the Premier League. He's coaching League One in France.
But in this context, he has no standing.
But here's what matters. In the United States, when you lose, everybody gets criticized. Right. The players, the coaches, the GM. Yeah. These friendlies, so what? Yeah. This is about the World Cup. If you get bounced out of the World Cup early, everybody's going down the drain because we are one of the hosts of the World Cup. We are hosting the finals. If we don't get to the knockout round or if we get drilled like 5-0, it's disastrous. This is results-based. And I understand his sentiment, but it's not going to go.
Don't even say it publicly. We're 10 months away from the biggest sporting event in the world.
In the world.
And you are like begging?
Yes.
What? Come on now.
Right.
They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
The tone of this whole summer has been not good for that program. It hasn't been. And so now we're criticizing him. Where is it? The star of the team don't play in the friendlies, do play in the friendlies. We don't even know what he's doing yet. They need to write themselves in something other than a friendly.
Let's take a break. Coming up, J.J. McCarthy did something no one has done since Steve Young. And you know what? We're going to ask Steve Young about that.
We'll also ask him whether he thinks my man Caleb Williams will end up excelling within Ben Johnson's offense.
I remember when the Yankees were great all the time when I was a kid. They're not great now. Aaron Judge is great. They're not great.
Okay, Brian.
Let's dig into some NFL issues with our great friend and the man I taught all about private equity, Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young. Let us start with this. This is going to be very personal for you. J.J. McCarthy is the first starting quarterback in the NFL to come back from 10 down in the fourth quarter of his NFL debut since you did it in Tampa Bay in 1985. What did you see when you watched J.J. McCarthy?
Well, first of all, Tony, thank you for finding the one highlight of my season in Tampa Bay. The second highlight was coming back the next year in San Francisco as a quarterback for the 49ers. We played in Tampa, and I went out at halftime to receive the 1986 MVP of the 2 and 14 Bucks in front of the crowd.
Great.
But JJ, what you got to think about JJ McCarthy. Sam Darnold was beloved. I mean, in one season, people loved him, and the locker room loved him. So he has now to enter as a young, inexperienced quarterback. He goes down to Chicago on opening Monday night under all that pressure, and then when he threw the pick six, didn't you all? I mean, I was like, oh my,
game over. Game over. Yeah.
Not only game over, but it's like now you've got the hills that you got to climb, the filters you got to go through to kind of get there. That it's just you just don't want to start like a horse that gets out of the gate and then falls flat on its face. And then to see him gather himself after the pick six, gritty, and go get it done. There is nothing greater that could happen to a first-time quarterback in the NFL than what happened to JJ. His team now can point to it. Hopefully, if things go sour, then go, but he did it in week one, and it was great. And so there's nothing better than what happened to JJ McCarthy and for JJ to get started in the season.
Not for some of us.
No, not for you. Not for Bears fans.
It's the first time I ever rooted against that hard, a Chicago kid. All right, we're going to go to the other side of this, though, Stephen. I said yesterday Caleb Williams has to be deprogrammed from the Eberflus era. And as a quarterback who had to adjust to a new offensive system a time or two in your life, what does that take to do?
Michael, you hit me at the heart of what my passion is for the game today, is that so many defensive coordinator-focused head coaches do not understand the position. And more than ever, the quarterback is football. And people say, oh, that's Steve, that's crap. Look, I know it's conflated, but it's not that conflated. And so to not understand the position, you can see the teams that don't understand it and why they're not very good at it. So there is a transition, and having to learn a new offense is a transition. But then let's also look at Ben Johnson. Just looked it up on ChatGPT. He's never coached a mobile quarterback. And being a mobile quarterback, I was told in 1987, I was telling Tony, I was told by Ray Perkins, I hate scramblers. It is unusual. In today's game, it's a prototype. If you're going to be a great, innovative offensive coordinator or head coach of quarterbacks, you need to be able to deal with the prototype. This is the prototype. This is Ben Johnson's first chance at that prototype. And I'm telling you, that's a transition. That is not simple for coach and quarterback. And to be able to gain that trust and understanding. And Caleb's trying to understand the one thing that's so hard today is that I don't know exactly when to go. I want to be a sophisticated passer of the football. I want to be Dan Marino. I want to be Peyton Manning. I want to be Tom Brady. But I also know that there's free yards out there to go get every game. I don't want to lose them. And that dilemma needs a lot of care and concern. And I wish, because I did it and lived it, I kind of wish they could connect to my brain and I could just give it to them, because it's very hard for people that don't. If you played quarterback in the NFL 18, 20 years, but never were capable of moving around, you would not know what to say. You would not know what to teach. And I think that's unique to the guys today.
We're old enough to remember when Steve was like the father of that.
Yeah.
I mean, after Tarkenton and Staubach, then it's Steve
not
the modern
grandfather, right?
Not the grandfather. We won't saddle you with that. Brian Daboll seemed to waffle on Russell Wilson being his starter for week 2. Russell Wilson's been at this a long time, Steve. If you hear your head coach sort of, what do you do week 2 if you're Wilson?
You gotta become the reason that you win some games, because in the background people are chirping for Jackson Dart because it's just the game today. Why is he standing there? Why is he sitting there? We're not going to lose games. Might as well lose them with Jackson Dart. That's how. One game, that's how it gets started. And so Russell's been through it. He's a veteran, but he knows perception is 9/10 of the law as well, not possession. I learned in law school. Perception is, I need to go be a reason. And he's old enough and mature enough, and he can figure it out. Go be the reason they win some games and hold on to your job, because it's iffy. When the coach starts to waffle, you got to get to Wednesday morning and hope that you're not getting benched, because it's close. So I would say, Russell, go be the reason. And that's not easy.
We'll get you out of here on this, and we're doing this question because the quote is so great. Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh said that the hit on Justin Herbert by linebacker Duke Tranquil, quote, would have killed a lesser man.
Okay.
That's how big that hit was.
All right.
Let's be honest about that, unquote. As someone who took big hits in your career, how perilous did that one look to you?
What is with the love affair between Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert? Look, I saw Justin Herbert at Oregon. He came to Stanford, and I got season tickets. There's no more pretty throwing motion other than Andrew Luck in history. I mean, it is a thing of beauty. I remember almost tearing up watching him throw the football. So I understand the love affair, but let's stop. Let's go look at that hit again. He turns his back. The linebacker gets a free run.
Thank you.
15 years ago, before the rule changes, his head he's leaping from 6 yards away, knifing into you. Like, come on. He has to bring his feet and knock him down. And I'm surprised he didn't try to pick him up. And I'd like, talk about overreaction. But I understand he's trying to defend his quarterback. I remember the fridge. And he got me straight on, tipped me over. And I thought to myself, oh, this is it. I'm dead. I'm going to die. And he took me down and landed on me, and I thought he broke me. Like I broke, like and I got up. I'm like, oh, I didn't break. I thought for sure I was dead.
That is
so
great.
I'm not trying to convert. Like, I'm not a get off my lawn kind of guy. But let's come on.
Get off the lawn. We can't hit the quarterback today. Harbaugh.
Nobody can hit the quarterback today.
It's such a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
You guys are the best.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, Wilbon's old neighbor hits home run number 50.
And Fernando Tatis Jr. pulls one back again. I got to remind Steve of when T.O. got hit in the end zone in a playoff game. But Steve was gone by then. He wasn't the quarterback, but T.O. got hit. He got crunched by two Packers, I think, in an NFC title game. And I thought T.O. was never going to live till he got.
Happy time, people. Happy 51st birthday, Ben Wallace. The Hall of Fame center, so honored for his defensive and rebounding prowess, was originally signed by the Washington Bullets out of Virginia Union in 1996. His stat line in Washington was anemic. He averaged 1.1 points and 1.7 rebounds, coming off the bench in just 34 games. But when Wallace got to Detroit, he flourished. 4 different times, Wallace was NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Between 2000 and 2006, Wallace averaged 12.9 rebounds for the Pistons, and he was on their 2004 championship team. Wallace was never a scorer, averaging 5.7 points per game through 16 seasons, but the Pistons retired his number 3 jersey nonetheless.
They better had. He's the only undrafted player to ever make the Basketball Hall of Fame in the NBA.
Is that right?
That's right. And by the way, how could the Bullets Wizards give up on him? Huh? He would have been pretty good with that Gilbert Arenas, Jameson. I think he would have been playing with those guys.
Happy anniversary, Pete Sampras. On this day 35 years ago, Sampras defeated Andre Agassi in the final of the U.S. Open, and at 19 became the youngest man to ever win the Open. Along the way, Sampras beat the 6th seed, Thomas Muster, the 3 seed, Ivan Lendl, breaking Lendl's streak of 8 consecutive U.S. Open finals, then John McEnroe in the semis, and Agassi in the final. Sampras went on to win 14 majors, the most of any American man in the Open era. Sampras first reached number 1 in the world in 1993, and over the course of his career, held that ranking for a total of 286 weeks. When Sampras retired, his 14 majors was the record, but that has since been surpassed by Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic.
He never got the love he should have gotten, because he was in between those 2 eras. You mentioned Lendl and McEnroe, and then you move forward and you get the triplets who, Joker's the only one left.
But he's the best. He's the best American.
I know, but we didn't know that at the time, right?
Well, he was piling them up.
And he had to share it with Agassi.
He was piling up Wimbledon's and the U.S. Open.
He does?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty damn good on the golf course, too.
That's right. Yeah. Happy trails to 1 home run for Tyler Stevenson, but not a second. The Reds catcher launched one out to right in the 4th inning of last night's game against the Padres. San Diego right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. tracked it and brought it back on yet another spectacular play at the wall. Tatis Jr. has 4 such catches in just the last 27 games at Petco Park, and to think that Tatis spent the early part of his career in shortstop. But later in the 9th, Stevenson got his revenge, hitting a homer to left that proved to be the game winner for the Reds, because Tatis don't play left. With the loss, the Padres fell 2 back of the Dodgers in the NL West. LA beat the Rockies behind a 2-run homer from Mookie Betts, who's batting .333 over his last 31 games.
You know why, for many reasons, I cannot root against the Dodgers. I do not ever root against the Dodgers. But the Padres are so exciting.
They're exciting, and they hate each other.
And Tatis.
And that matters.
And you want to see them play each other, but not this year. Not this year.
One correction. Steve Young did, in fact, throw that pass to Terrell Owens when he took that big hit against the Packers in 1999 and one omission. Brock Purdy did not practice today. Kyle Shanahan said it would be a long shot for him to play Sunday at New Orleans. So Mac Jones will start.
I have to change my pick.
And you have confidence full?
Yeah.
Let's go to the big finish.
Let's do it.
The Aces beat the Sky for their 15th straight, as you predicted, and the Storm took the last playoff spot, which is the bigger deal.
The Storm. I mean, the Aces, that was a homecoming game. It was not a real game. And the Storm getting in the playoffs, congratulations. Salk starter Connolly early struck out 11 over 5 in his Major League debut. Got to be impressed.
Very impressed. He went to UVA. He's a Richmond kid. Yeah, it was very impressive. Cubs starter Cade Horton has a 1.25 ERA since July 1st. You find that significant?
Yeah, because he's our ace, our stopper, and he's the Rookie of the Year in the National League. Flawless.
Not the Miz? Not the Miz?
No, not the Miz.
Whoa. Hold the presses.
Kyle Schwarber hit his 50th of the season last night. Big deal, isn't it?
He's a monster. He is so much better than both of us thought he would be when he first came up. He's a force in baseball. Last one, Anthony Rizzo will retire as a Cub on Saturday at Wrigley Field. You must be excited.
Yes, I am. If I wasn't going to be at Northwestern Oregon, I'd be at Wrigley Field to just for Rizzo.
Huh? We're out of time. We will try and do better the next time. Dr. Melissa Lockley, shout out.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, knuckleheads. And now, maybe I'll
just leave the Northwestern game. Go to when Oregon's up 50-3.
Okay, Rizzo, man. Love Rizzo.